how about for these kids, high school basketball player starting where probably all of us started, hey, I want to get big, I want to be more physical. Like, what's some basic tips for these guys? They don't want to lose athleticism, but they want to get stronger and more physical on the court. Where do you start with that question?
Well, that's an interesting one because my first 5 or 6 years of lifting, I made myself way less athletic. And I was doing, you ever heard of dog crap training, DC training?
No.
It's like one set to failure, like this rest pause thing. But I got really into my first 5 or 6 years of training. I wasn't lifting myself to improve my athleticism. I was just lifting to lift. And I am somebody that a lot of what I say with my clients is do as I say, not as I do, because I'm like a closet meathead. And I love training to failure. That's the other thing. Like, I like those sets where after rep 10, you're probably done, but then you just figure out a way to get 5 more. But I actually think those last 5 are probably what make you less athletic, if that makes sense. So for people that are trying to improve their athleticism, doing like training deep to failure is usually not a good thing, particularly on lower body.
I agree.
I think that a lot of people do too many reps. I think if you lift in like the 5 to 8 rep range as opposed to like way higher reps on lower body, that's probably a better idea.
I agree.
I think stopping a little short of failure. I think realizing that your sport's always going to be more important than the gym, so don't lift so hard that it impacts the rest of your day. I think realizing that the muscles you can't see in the mirror tend to be the ones that make you a better athlete. So your glutes, your hamstrings, your back are oftentimes, well, that's, again, like, I think quads are very important to an athlete and stuff, but I think that kids tend to do, chest and buys, back and tries, that type of thing, and then half-ass legs. And I think, I've always said to athletes, if you're going to suck at one exercise, make it the bench press. In general, compound movements tend to give you more bang for your buck than isolation. And then, as you get to be more advanced, isolation can have its place. A lot of injuries require isolation and stuff. But if we're talking to a young kid just trying to get to be a better athlete, I would actually say for a young kid trying to be a better athlete, if you got really good at rear foot elevated split squat, trap bar deadlift, chin ups, and some sort of leg curl, you'd be doing really well for yourself. I think that's like a pretty balanced. I like a mix of bilateral and unilateral strength. I think a lot of guys don't do enough stuff for their hamstrings. So I think that the chin up is a really good measure of relative upper body strength in a sport like basketball where you don't have to be that big. I think a chin up is a good barometer for young guys. So I think those, if you got good at nothing else but those 4, you'd be doing pretty well for yourself.
I like that. Do you trend towards 3 full body days, or do you go splits? You go lower upper?
Well, who are we talking about? Like, what kind of population?
Let's say like a high school basketball player who just wants to get big but still be athletic.
Well, it depends. The guys that don't live for the gym, we tend to do full body workouts because I think if you're lifting 2 or 3 days a week, full body is kind of my go-to. People that love the gym and go 4 or 5 days a week, then we start doing, I always do lower upper instead of upper lower, because I feel like if you're gonna, that way if you skip a day it's upper. So we tend to do, some guys will do lower upper. I don't really do body part splits for like as far as like chest day, back day type of thing, but we'll do for just guys just trying to get big. I used to do push-pull legs and thought that was pretty good. But for the most part, I do full body workouts with my clients. And a big reason for that, there's a lot of stuff that trainers kind of know intuitively but don't talk about. It's funny to me, like when I read a trainer's articles and they talk about these like elaborate programs, I'm always thinking, are all their clients different than mine in that they come on like a set schedule all the time? Because like none of mine do. So I've always had logistics rule everything. And a lot of my clients, the actors and stuff, I don't even know the next day they're coming. Like, we go day to day.
Yep.
So there's no sense in, it sounds bad. It makes me sound like a bad trainer, but a lot of times I don't have like a written program because I don't know when they're coming. So again, Captain Obvious, you just got to do the best you can.
Yeah.
But I think when you don't know when people have irregular schedules, I just think logistically speaking, full body works best because, if they don't come for a while, they hit everything kind of thing,
Yeah, that's why I got away from doing deload. Like I used to plan out like deloads. Let's take this week light, but then it's like everybody's going to have a natural deload built in when they go on vacation.
Yeah, they go on vacation, they get sick, their kid, they have kids, whatever. Yeah, we don't really deload either. Now, I will deload the people that come consistently if they're training for a long time. Sometimes I say, just take this week off, like, that type of thing. And there's all kind of people in the training, under the training realm. If you think, there's some people that you need to dial them back because they're the type of people that would run through a wall if you told them to. And then you have people that need to be pushed. And so there's no blanket answer for that type of stuff. The guys that, when people talk about overtraining, that's a talk that I realize is a theoretical talk, because the dudes that train hard enough to need to worry about overtraining aren't going to stop because of something they read. And the people that will listen to that stuff are the ones that don't train very hard and are like, oh, I'm overtrained. I'm like, you ain't overtrained.
Yeah.
So
there's probably like 5% of the population, probably less, that can actually get overtrained.
Yeah, and they don't care about what some like nerdy trainer has to say about it.
Yeah. Or I guess you could be overtrained, not from doing too much, but too much too soon. Like these kids that aren't in the gym, they get hyped up on pre-workout and then just go crush for 2 hours. Like, yeah, you are overtrained, but it's not because you're doing too much. It's just you did too much too soon.